Why, Facebook, do you not go public when we first launched the event? And I actually have to go in there and set it to public. You see how upset you got this cat? Look how upset I am. Look how upset I am. Anders can't even look at me. Look, Anders, where you going? That is not Anders, is it? Who is that in the living room? Who is that? I know that's somebody. Ah, where'd you go? Did you learn how to fly? Oh, you see. I have set gravity. There is no gravity in here. Ah, who is this in here? You finally made it back down to the ground, did you, huh? Let's see, are you on mute? Hey! Hey! Is that you, Anders? Or is that somebody in the in the barn? You're on mute. If that's in the barn, I hear you talking. You're on mute, fool. You have to unmute yourself, Anders. The real Anders would have unmuted himself by now. Oh, who's this wandering tiger approaching? We have a wandering tiger approaching. Whoa, nice outfit, dude. Yo. Try to find you. Hello. Wandering tiger. Who is that? I hear you talking in the other room. You know why? You have to unmute your microphone so I can hear you in here. It's on the bottom of your screen. Mute. You look like a microphone. Yeah, what's up? Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. I'm gonna follow you around like a weirdo.
I'm trying to figure out these goals.
You gotta figure it out, yo. Come on, you're young. You guys should know how to do this better.
I don't know anything about technology.
What? Come on, people. Get your shit together. Remember, we're streaming to my Facebook account, so please try to get me banned from Facebook. This is my goal. I have never been banned from this yet.
Alright, noted.
You can actually be one of these characters if you want. You have to go up to them, and when you get close enough, it says press F.
Really?
Yeah, so when you get close like I am right here. Right here. You get close to one. There you go. See?
Nice. Oh, look at me.
And then you can fly. Look at this. This is what we really do in here. Is we do nonsense. There's no real things going on. There's no agenda.
That's so fun.
And then you click the ground. See, I hit the ground.
I love it. What is this name?
We had LT in here. LT, where are you? Wandering Tiger. Wandering Tiger, who are you? Come on, Wandering Tiger. You have infiltrated virtual conversations for content creators. Who are you? Tell me who you are. There you go. I scared him away.
Yeah, somebody else playing.
Well, I can still hear you all in here. Oh, where are you, Anders?
Oh.
You know, you guys are Anders right now, so please be as embarrassing as possible. I'm demanding that. LT, over here. Can you hear me? Who are you? Identify yourself. I am the Lantern Girl. My audio is jacked. Oh, snap. What you gotta do is you gotta go into... All you hear is buzzing. Really? Are you using a headset? Like a wireless headphones? Microphone? LT, can you hear me talking? I'm right behind you. Hold on, I'm gonna take your wallet. Let's take it out of the back of your pocket. I'm gonna take your wallet. I'm gonna take your wallet right now.
So it's just us, right? For dinner tonight? Just Brian and Thomas. Brian coming? No, Brian. Yeah, Brian and oh, Joe.
Oh no, I heard that. Hey, who's laughing? Come on. Fly. I'll tell you the story of this place in a minute as soon as people start showing up. If people start showing up. There's at least 2 or 3 people are supposed to show up. There we go. I can see you in the yonder. Oh, there.
Hey, hello.
There you are. You should only try this in a headset. It's much more amazing.
How do I do that?
Wow, look at you, Cortez. You're flying. What the fudge? This is why you're so aggravated and tired.
More like gotta get some birds in here.
This is the first virtual reality experience I ever created. I have 3D modeled everything in here.
Like this. It's weird, yeah.
Are you there? Can you hear me?
Weird.
Come on, speak up, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Hopefully everybody shows up soon. Come on, Cortez, pay attention. Pay attention, Cortez. Pay attention. Why you keep on looking up? What's up there? Where you going? Is there a mouse? A squirrel? Come on. What? Come on. You gotta learn how to walk? You first have to learn how to walk before you can learn how to fly.
Also, you get some fucking clues on how to do this.
Hey, remember, I'm streaming this to my Facebook, motherfuckers. Be nice.
Oh,
Yes, I'm streaming to my Facebook.
Yes.
Oh. Normally there'd be more people in here right now, except everyone's doing more important things like making a poo.
Yeah.
I'm trying to troubleshoot someone's having a problem with audio in here. So what's for dinner tonight, Anders? What's for dinner?
They don't know yet.
What? It's already freaking
Bananas.
5:40. You guys better
They
make up your
didn't
mind.
start yet, so.
You can make cereal for dinner. That's a good idea.
I would eat that, to be honest.
Yeah, normally what happens is, like, I'll sit here for 15, 20 minutes, a half an hour, no one will show up. I'll be like, well, thank God no one shut up. That means I don't have to do this event today. And then that's when people start showing up. And then, of course, we laugh about the whole thing. You guys want a tour? I explain to you what's going on in here? Okay. What we'll do is we're first going to start over here. Follow me. I'll explain everything. You have to jump inside this big lantern. Come on, Cortez. Stop screwing around. Turn around.
Oh, we have to move it? Okay, wait.
Yeah, just turn around. Yeah, you got it. Perfect. Follow me. Come into this big lantern.
No, how do you fly?
How do you fly? You have to hit the space bar.
Wait. Oh, okay.
Yeah, just once. It's not a perfect science in here. Where'd you go? You went too high.
Okay, wait.
Come on, kids. You can't get that high without having parental supervision.
Okay, there we go.
You in here? Great. So welcome to Unity Sanctuary. And in Unity Sanctuary is where we host virtual conversations for content creators. I've done this event so far for 3 years now, every single week. Normally we would have a bunch of people in here, but they all slackers right now or haters. I haven't figured out one or the other. But I created this virtual space 3 years ago, inspired by my wife's Burning Man collective, Chinese Beyond Borders, and her dream of doing a Burning Man theme camp. And a Burning Man theme camp is an art-inspired camping area at Burning Man, the largest intentional artistic event in the entire world. Intentional community, artistic community, 100,000 people. And she started Chinese Beyond Borders so she could share the culture and art of Greater China to the rest of the world through Burning Man and beyond. And one of the things she's known for Burning Man are something called lantern dresses. And when you first entered, there was a pavilion here with a bunch of photos from the real world with her and her lantern girls and the wearable art that she brings to Burning Man. So what I did was, she had a drawing of what she wanted her camp to look like, and it was a bunch of habitable lantern yurts. So imagine the sound stage, all the things that you sleep in, like the bell tents that we have here, and said there'd be habitable lanterns just like this. So what I did was, I took some of the concept drawings and 3D modeled this whole entire environment from that. So now we have a place to go in the virtual space, but also a good idea of how maybe we will build something like this in the physical world. So now that we're here inside of the big lantern, you'll notice there's a sculpture here in the middle of this room. Do you see the sculpture?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So this is a very large version of a sculpture that I brought to Burning Man in 2017. It's called Life Within Itself. And if you look at it, you'll notice that there are a bunch of hexagons within hexagons. This is an abstract of the Fibonacci sequence. It's actually, if you look at the small little ones, the small little tiny hexagons, you'll see 2 of them. The dimensions of these hexagons, those 2 small ones, each side was 1 inch. So 1 inch, 1 inch, then the bottom 2 inch, then the next to it 3 inch, and the one above it 5 inch, and the inside of the big one is 8 inch. So that's 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, which is the Fibonacci sequence. And if you also notice that there's a flower of life in between, and also on the front of these flower-like patterns are an abstract of the flower of life. So what I did was with the flower of life, normally you would have circles within circles, they'd all be the same size, intersecting. What I did with this abstract pattern is I made the circles smaller as I went towards the center, and it made this kind of flower pattern the way it did there. The idea with this sculpture is if you walk to the other side, I'm going to walk to the other side right now. You walk to the other side, this is the side that faced the sunrise at Burning Man. So this front was the sunrise at Burning Man. And that represents birth. And then if you go to the middle, you see the flower of life. That represents life itself. And the other side faced the sunset, and this represents death. Since I made this sculpture as a memorial to my dad who passed away in 2017, I wanted to create something that represented the modalities of art and design that he used, which is a lot of brass. So I created this whole thing out of brass and red oak, and it's a lighting sculpture too. I have this in the physical world. Hopefully I will be able to get it here at some point. It's only 6 feet tall, not necessarily 20 feet tall. But this is a piece that I was able to bring into the virtual space because I had a 3D model of it when I first designed it before I actually made it. And there are other pieces within this environment that are the same. And I see Muse has arrived. Muse. Hello, Muse. Go on the microphone.
Hey there.
Oh, you're all, Joanne, you're all jittery. I don't know if it's just me.
Yeah, I had a hard time getting in. Things were not easy.
Oh, yeah? I got a bunch of the Heartland Collective volunteers in here, and under the disguise of Anders. They have been very nice. They have not been creating trouble, which is good. I'm going to go over there to the beginning. Some more folks have shut up. Joanne, you sound like a Burger King drive-thru.
I know, you did too there for a while. You sounded
Really?
like a chipmunk. Yep.
I am sounding like a chipmunk.
I'm gonna reboot. I'm gonna reboot.
Okay. The trials and tribulations of the freaking metaverse. Maybe if I'm the goat, it'll be better. Hold on, let me get this thing. I know Lost Wild's here. Lost Wild's my co-host. I want to be the goat. What about that, huh? What would you do if you saw this thing come up after you and said, hello, everyone. Hello, Anders. I am the goat boy. I am the goat boy. All right, no, that's not Anders. It's Cortez. There he is. Well, this is just another complaint we have to have for Spatial. Lost Wild. People start showing up, they can't hear, they can't talk. How are we supposed to have an event?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, Joanne.
Cool, I can hear you too.
Excellent. If you want to be any of these funny avatars, you can. You just have to walk up to them and
I'm
hit
good.
F. You sure?
That would just confuse me. I'm good.
Really? That's excellent. Well, I'm glad you showed up today, Joanne. I'm trying to instigate the crew. It seems like when Altspace goes away, no one has any direction.
I know. People can't quite get over it. It's still uncomfortable in these other spaces, so I get it.
Yeah. Well, I think for a lot of people, they never didn't necessarily have a community before. So I guess it's really hard for them when they lose the one thing that they had in common, and it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
But we have something new. It's
You
something we
mean in
learn from.
spatial?
Well, just in general. It
Yeah.
doesn't even have to be in VR, to be
Yeah.
honest. It could be all the different things. I think it's
Sure.
really about
Yeah, there's
motivating
lots of
people just to do
things.
stuff. Yeah, motivating people just to do
Yeah.
stuff.
And that's a job, you know. It's hard to motivate
Yes,
others.
definitely.
So one thing I wanted to ask you tonight was, are you still hanging and working with Gibson?
I am actually. I'm putting a demo together for him that he has a presentation on the 15th.
Cool. Because he has some stuff going on. I was talking to him about, he's trying to put together, I guess, some sound healers to work through his system, and he's creating some kind of platform where the sound is supposed to be better, you know, obviously than like a Zoom or something like that. So
Oh, I know
anyway,
exactly what it is because
just
it's Lost Wild's
yeah.
co-founder. It's Sessionware.
Oh,
I got that connected for him.
Sessionware, right.
Yes, I know all about this
Right.
one.
So we were curious because, well, I know he wants people to basically do bells and bowls and stuff like that, and I can do that, but I also primarily use music, and he said that he couldn't do music at this point, and we were wondering why, because it looks like Sessionware would do that. Maybe I just don't understand how he's setting it up, but...
Right.
Whoop, hi there,
Holy
adventuring
cow, a
woodpecker.
woodpecker just showed up.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow, woodpecker. There's
cool,
something called space. No, I'm kidding.
happy. Any thoughts on that? Do you know anything about that, Sessionware? Or
Sessionwire?
is it
Yeah, I
because
know.
he's setting it up?
Well, let's have an offline chat about that one because I'm streaming this to Facebook.
Okay.
If you
Okay.
want, we could do a call.
Okay.
But
I'm around most of the time, so you let me know.
I
This guy
need to
jumping
get
on me or what?
basically the founder of Sessionwire is also the co-founder of Starwire and the Goats, and
Oh,
Garnet will
okay.
be here, and we can. We're all pretty tight, so well, at least he's definitely tight with them. But and
Okay.
there's something that could be done. So I'm just curious to what your end goal would be, and maybe we could figure out how to work something out.
Well, yeah. You want me to wait till we talk to say something?
Well, because I'm streaming this to Facebook, and I don't know how much I want to talk about this on my
Okay.
live feed in public.
Okay. All right. That's cool. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to talk either, so that's cool.
Excellent.
But you're still in California, right? You're still in California?
Yeah. Yes.
Cool. Yeah, are they here? Is that Anders? Is he from Heartland?
That's an imposter. That Anders is a bunch of kids who
Oh.
have hijacked Anders' laptop, and they have they're in the other room. This is Kalima and Joanne, who are my regulars
Is
for the
Kalima
Creative
here?
Meetup. Yes, she's right behind you.
Where's Kalima? Oh, hey there. How you doing? Good to see you. You're
Lost
waving to
Wild
the
was here for a
sky.
moment.
Yeah, I was muted, and I was trying to get that mute button. And yeah, I'm doing fine.
Good. Good. Yeah, we need to
Yeah.
get the group back together. We need to get people
Right.
back in here.
Bunch of slackers.
Exactly.
Stimulate,
Exactly.
get some stimulating conversation going for sure.
I know, right?
Yeah. No,
So
I
how about
agreed
this?
with your post today. I mean, it's
Oh, thank
true.
you.
There's a lot of people who are complaining about a lot of things right now, and there's a lot to complain about. But you're right. As creatives, we have to keep going, and that's, you know, at least Gary and I have each other, and we keep each other going. But I know it's hard, you know, even for us. But we got to keep going.
Definitely. You know what it is too?
Yeah.
It's just like we're using these spaces in multiple formats, the virtual stuff and the physical stuff together as hybrids. And what we're really trying to do is amplify everything creative in general. So I think what happens is with a lot of people, they use terms like IRL. What does really IRL mean? This is real. except we're just in a different environment. So everything really is real.
Yeah.
I think
And we're just in a different form.
yeah.
Right.
Consciousness is still the same.
Exactly.
So
We're still using our voices
Yeah.
to communicate with each other,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
only thing is we're using a tool to do it. But
Yeah.
exactly, we're still real life.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, exactly.
We're still real
So
people with real ideas.
Yeah.
while we're waiting, since we have some newbies in here who are volunteers here at Heartland Collective, Kalima and Joanne, why don't you explain and talk a little bit about who you are and what you do in life, and to give them a little perspective on some of the people that come into this group. Maybe we'll start with Kalima.
So who's here? Because I only see you, and I see Lost Wild just came in. Is there anyone else here? You said
Right
these are
here
kids that are behind
is
you.
Anders. This cat.
The cat.
The cat is Anders.
Oh,
cat
It's
is
not really
somebody?
Anders. There's like five volunteers in the other room. We
Oh,
have
okay. So
Zach.
they're all
Ah.
listening.
We have
Gotcha.
Zach. We have Emma. We have Luana, and we have Gracia. And they're all
So there are multiple personalities over there, and Anders is what you're saying.
yeah, in Anders' body. Isn't that fun?
Cool.
And we have Greta also. So they're all experiencing this for the first time. They can't stop laughing. I understand it happened. So
Yeah.
we'll start with you, Kalima. Just a quick little
Okay.
synopsis on who you are, what you do, how you got here.
Okay. My name's Kalima. I am a math teacher. I usually teach college freshmen. I think I'm not going to teach this year. I've been taking some time off since January. I might not go back. That leaves me more time to play around. I'm working on improving my Unity skills. I'm learning Blender to create 3D objects.
Cool.
Can you explain to these kids what
worked on
Unity?
a VR app,
Can
a
you explain
game,
to
kind
them
of
what
a
Unity and
escape
Blender
game
is?
recently.
Can you explain to them what Unity
Pardon,
and
yeah,
Blender
Unity
is?
and Blender.
Yeah, explain that to them.
Yeah. So Unity, I'm using Unity to build worlds, but then also create games within the world. So these are games you can play on the Oculus headset. And the most recent game I worked on with a group of people was just for fun, just an escape game. And I don't think we're going to publish it. I think one of the people is going to take it a little bit further and try to do some work with museums, because the idea is that it was an escape from a museum game. So you go into this museum and try to escape, and you see a lot of the artifacts in the museum as you're wandering around trying to figure out how to escape. So I think one of our group members is going to take it a little bit further and actually work with some museums on that, which I think is really cool. And I'm gonna start learning some similar tools, again, in Unity, a game engine, and try to mix some augmented reality with it this time. So that'll be something new for me. And what else have I going on? So I've been involved in this kind of thing for a couple years. I still want to go back. In the past, I've done a VR app for working on vision, helping people with binocular vision problems to team their eyes. And I want to go back and do some more with that. I thought that was really interesting, and I want to push that a little bit more, see if I can get some better results with that. I was pleased with what we did the first time, and I want to just take it a little bit further. And I guess that's about all I have going on right now. Other than that, I'm a dancer, and I just have a lot of fun with that kind of things. Love music, love dance, love my dogs. That's
Awesome.
about it for me.
Can you explain to them what the binocular vision is?
Yeah, binocular vision is, for most people, you have two eyes, obviously, and your two eyes will train on an object, either close up or in the distance, but your eyes will focus in on that object, and the brain will fuse the two images. For some of us, our eyes do not work together. They will not point at that object. So one eye might point at that object and one eye might point somewhere else, maybe off to the side or maybe inward toward the nose. And so they don't have that binocular image. They don't have the two eyes teaming together to see your image. And so what can happen with those kind of people, a lot of times is the brain will shut off one image from one of the eyes and only use one. And so there are a lot of therapies to try and get the brain to use both images to try and train the eyes to work together to focus on that image, which is one part of the problem. And then to, once you get it focused on that object or something in the difference, to actually fuse those two images rather than having the brain shut off one of them. So it's kind of a complicated procedure, but we can use vision apps in the Oculus headset to try to get that team to happen, to try and force your eyes to work together by playing a game. So that's what we're kind of working on.
Excellent. So basically, you're using a virtual reality app to help fix people's eyes with the binocular vision.
Yes. Yes.
Excellent.
Cool.
See how much stuff can be done
That's
with
amazing.
this digital stuff?
Yeah.
Awesome,
Yeah.
Kalima. Love to hear about that stuff. Hopefully we can work some more on that with my friend from the Blind Burners group, because he's pretty motivated for stuff.
Okay. Yeah. That would be wonderful. The more people get
Yes.
involved in these kinds of things to actually help people in their daily lives, the better. You know, there's so much potential here. And I was fortunate enough to be working with a group of faculty members at the university this past spring. And I got to hear about a lot of different things that people are working on. People in the arts. There was someone from the, I can't remember if he was from the theater department or from the dance department, but they were working on mocap for dancing and choreographing, and I'm just all kinds of really cool stuff. There was someone from the occupational therapy department, and they were working on things to get senior citizens and people with limited mobility in the shoulder area to use the Oculus and track what their range of motion was and figure out how to improve that. So there's some really, really interesting applications going on. Really cool stuff.
Well, it's amazing what technology can do. I kind of find it frustrating and or challenging that there's so much focus on stuff that may or may not be kind of what we see as important, but more just sort of along the lines of only entertainment and not necessarily towards the edutainment or like helping people. And I'm glad to see more people are working on stuff in this environment using games and gamification to actually help people.
Absolutely, especially with the vision therapy. A lot of the vision therapy patients are young children because they catch these eye tracking problems early on, and they can do a world of good. So you've got these little kids, you know, preschool through, you know, older elementary kids, and they don't want to sit and do these eye exercises. And so playing in the headset, the gamification is so much of an incentive for them. Really, really improves the process.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. So how about Muse? How about you, Joanne? Maybe tell the folks here a little bit about like what you're working on, who you are, what you do, and the amazingness.
All right. Can I, though, I want to talk to Kalima just for a second on the same topic,
yeah, of course.
so we don't lose it.
Yeah, do it.
So I'm part of the Educators in VR Health and Medical team. We'd love to have you come sometime. We've been doing a lot more open conversations about things. This would be wonderful for everybody to hear about the eye thing. Would you be up for that? We're not going to start again until September, and we do it monthly.
Absolutely. Yeah, in fact, I had talked to Laurel about that once previously because she heard my story once. I would love to do that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a lot, you know, like the 20 different teams, but I'm part of the health and medical wellness team, and it would fit perfectly with the things that we talk about. So I'll definitely reach out to you on Discord and make the connection.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. See, that's how things happen in here. It's like, I love it. It's just instantly connections are made. Okay, so me. So I'm a digital content creator, and my husband is a composer, musician, channel of amazing higher consciousness musics, and together we are Shapeshifter DNA is our brand name. And so over the years, we've traveled from cassettes to CDs to the internet to downloads, and we found ourselves sort of lost around 2017, 18, as things started to shift. It got harder for us to get our stuff out there. It's just much more complicated now for the niche musician. So a couple years into that, we discovered VR, or I discovered VR because I'm the digital content creator. And so I fell in love with the platform and all the things that can be done here. And so I created a whole lot of worlds in AltSpace with a developer. I'm not a builder, world builder. I don't think I'm going to go into that. I really like video editing and creative video editing. So I'm also a shamanic sound healer. So I combine those two things together to create content to awaken people. And so wow, he's tall. So what I do now is, yeah, big guy. So what I do now is I teach weekly in VR chat. I have a sound healing group, and I create, not necessarily every week, but I try to every week create a new video, and the video contains mostly psychedelic style visuals. I'm trying to teach people how to move into the psychedelic realm, opening their third eye without having to take psychedelics. Certainly psychedelics can support the awakening and the opening, but it's not always easy to navigate things that way. So I'm teaching using visuals to stimulate the third eye, and then closing our eyes and using the music, which Gary's music is like a psychedelic in its own right, to then travel shamanically. And so that's really fun. So I do that weekly, and I'm working on a lot more things like courses, classes. And what I'd like to do is maybe expand this somehow. I'm trying to, since I left AltSpace, to try to combine things like Zoom and VR. My old crowd of, let's say, my old mailing list is pretty Luddite when it comes to asking them to come into VR. So that's been challenging. I think I can get them to come into Zoom, and I can do something in Zoom and maybe gradually teach them to get into VR kind of thing. So I'm, working on those kinds of concepts all the time to try to, awaken them through. I just see VR as it's a big gateway to the spiritual realms, and a lot of people are hesitant and negative about what's going on because there's that going on too. But the awakening that I'm experiencing with the people who come to my events now are much quicker and much clearer with less words and less teaching than it was when I was teaching in the IRL, in the physical place.
It's amazing you say
it's really
that.
fascinating.
Yeah, it's so true.
It is.
I've realized.
Yeah, energetically, because you step out of the form and you're not labeled, you're not judging, you're not in the same space we are, we're in the physical. The physical starts to put this whole overlay on top of everything. Where we come in here, everybody's immediately energetic, and they're immediately more true. I find them to be more true, which means they're closer to their heart, they're closer to their spiritual essence. And so if I can get them there that much quicker, and then teach them what I'm teaching through the psychedelic visual teaching program that I have, they're accelerating faster than any students I've ever worked with over the last 30 years. So I think it's a really amazing platform for that particular thing.
Something.
And then on top of,
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say we're experimenting, and I've got a whole crew of people coming up here, media production people. In the next couple of days, how to amplify spaces like this to do all the things you just said you needed it to do, especially the Zoom integration. I'm actually thinking about, and I've been talking to Lost Wild about this, about using session wire instead, because session wire.
Yeah, see, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. That's
well,
right. That's
what
I
more
said.
about
I wanted
some of
to
this
talk
stuff.
to you about that because.
Let's talk more about
absolutely.
this. Let's try to book some time during the week. Maybe we could do a phone call or something.
Sure.
And we can figure that out.
Yeah, I'm always around. We work from home, so just connect. Yeah. So the last piece I want to add to that is that on top of all of that, Gary and I started a nonprofit to support artists like us because it's been really hard through our process to get support for the higher spiritual work. And so what we want to do is turn that back around as we can and start supporting other artists as the foundation grows. So the foundation is just in its beginning stages, trying to raise funds and all that kind of thing. But that's the plan. So that's me.
Excellent.
Oh.
Excellent. Excellent. Always amazing stuff coming out of you, Joanne. Lost Wild, Garnet, my co-host. Do you want to say a few words? We've got a bunch of cultural exchange students in some way and volunteers here at Heartland Collective building the place, and they're here in the Big Goat right now. If it wasn't for Lost Wild, there wouldn't be this Big Goat right now because that's his DAO, the NFT, the goats. Lost Wild, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, actually, well, I had a couple comments.
Yeah, go for it.
Just on the first two. Number one, on the dancing side, there's a new app out now called Wonder Dynamics, which is pretty cool in that you can, literally just film yourself on your phone dancing or doing whatever, and it takes that footage and converts it into sort of body tracking animations.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of didn't believe it at first when it first came out, but it literally will replace you. You can drop a character onto your human body in your footage. It replaces your body with the 3D rig and erases the background where your body pixels were and drops it in, relights it with the same lighting that you are kind of currently standing in. And
oh my gosh.
yeah, it's
Wow.
pretty, it's called Wonder Dynamics, and it's, unfortunately, there's
O-N-E,
no
O-N-E or W-O-N?
Wonder.
Wonder
Oh,
W? Or
here,
one O-N-E?
I'll drop it in.
That's fantastic because I've been thinking about teaching dance in some way for a long time. I wanted to do it in alt space and just never got around to it. And people have asked me before, and I think, well, I'm older and overweight now, so I would love to hide that part of my body. That kind of solves a lot of problems. Oh my gosh!
Be an alien or whatever you want, but it'll record the moves and stuff.
Excellent.
So that's cool. And then on
Absolutely.
the healing, the audio healing side, I'm really fascinated on that whole subject. So I would love to kind of hear more. I'm a live sound technician, so I've been doing sound for live bands for probably 30 years now, and had always, I'd heard about sound healing and stuff like that, and just kind of really kind of thought, oh, that's crazy talk. But now we're seeing so many breakthroughs in science proving this, and I think we're on the verge of some major breakthroughs in the area.
Hey, can I interrupt you guys for a second? Because now everyone is jumping in, and we have a bunch of new people here. Let's bring it over to the Stargate, and let's do this like we used to. We have the Stargate over here. Let's go.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, come over here. Follow me. All right. Finally, we get a chance to actually do this thing for real.
Oh, cool. This looks
Yeah.
nice.
Doesn't it?
I like it.
So just a
Yeah,
little bit
looks
of
very nice.
just a little bit of an explanation of why we use a Stargate in this in the original event when me and Garnet first started doing this, me and Lost Wild. It was a filmmakers meetup, and it was about having all of our professional film production and media production friends talk about projects we were working on. And one of his friends in the group just happened to be Wes Sargent, who was the lead visual artist for all the Stargate Atlantis, for all the Stargate shows like Stargate Atlantis, Stargate SG-1. So he's a very well-renowned visual artist in the industry, and I thought for a joke we needed a circle to stand on. Why don't we just make it a Stargate? Because we have Wes Sargent here as one of the people in the group. So it's just stuck.
That's really
And we
cool.
just use that. Yeah, we just use that for this. But yeah, let's continue. Sorry, I just wanted to get that
Stargate
on
is
here.
good because it represents multi-dimensional,
Mm-hmm.
you know, being able
Yep.
to kind of, I don't know, I would say when you come to these meetings, you may get knowledge or some kind of thing that can enable you to transform yourself to a new place in your
Mhm.
life, new dimension. This is a stepping place to meet and go
Yeah.
places, whatever your dreams are.
Yeah, no,
And the
definitely.
Stargate, kind of a magical device. Like, what the heck does the Stargate do? Well, you can go places. Where do you
Mhm.
want to
I gotta
go?
get the kids. Hold
What's
on.
your vision? What's your
Come on,
dream?
kids. We're here. You gotta turn
You know.
around. Move the other way, folds. Come
Yeah.
on.
But
Turn around,
but I,
Anders.
but I was saying I am fascinated to hear
Mhm.
more on the areas of sound healing,
Sure.
and I've kind of more kind of technically for whatever reason for the longest time I just really didn't care much about. I would just show up to the soundboard and start mixing and just, you know,
Mhm.
turn the knobs and mix it until it sounded like I wanted to mix it. But now there's so many new tools out to actually analyze the way sound hits people from the
Mhm.
speaker so you can virtually recreate, you know, the sound setup that I have in these big rooms or whatever. And I can see visually how the frequencies are hitting people and how to solve those problems. So I'm kind of learning new methods of, you know,
Mhm.
like typically one problem we have is like if you have your subwoofers at the front of the stage near the concert, the people at the front, right in front of the subs are getting killed with bass and the
Right.
people at the back aren't. Well, there's new techniques now to shape those low frequencies, which I never knew you could do before. And
Mhm.
anyway, I'd love to uh, kind of hear stories
Mhm.
what you've been doing. It sounds fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I look forward to it. I love to talk about it.
You know, Joanne, one of the things we're doing here is we have something called an infinipod, and what the infinipod is, it's an old water
Yeah, I
tank.
saw that. I saw that thing at the when you guys took me to the VR. Was that
Oh
that
no, we
thing
have something
you
different. We're in
took me
Heartland
to? Remember?
Collective now. We
Oh,
actually
okay.
have a So at the Heartland Collective, we have an old float tank, and it's not used for water anymore. And what we do is we have a sound healing bed inside of it with the transducers built into it. And what I am
Mhm.
looking to do here is a complete remote controllable, remote operable sound healing experience. So this is very similar to, and in line with the stuff that David is doing. Except we
Mhm.
would use it to sort of do the remote sound healing session on the sound healing table, combine it with virtual reality
Mhm.
stuff. And I'm actually
Mhm.
looking to sort of integrate biofeedback in like using HRV, like heart math, or EEG, like
Mhm.
either a Muse
Mhm.
headset or a Mindwave or something like that, to where
Mhm.
maybe even connecting two remote locations, each with sound healing
Mhm.
tables, and like a third party person could be someone like you doing a sound bath or whatever live music, doesn't matter what it is. Any music will go through here.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
we'd definitely have to talk
Well,
more about
when
that.
we first started, we built a sound room. Of course, that's one of the first things that we knew we needed to do. And Gary plugged right into the table, so we put very high-end speakers and everything, Bose quality speakers into the sound table, and we had a complete system around the table.
Hmm.
And I've spent, countless hours in this room, but one of the first pieces of divine transmissions that I received were these are portals, just much like what we're looking at here, that
Right.
when you can tune the person to a certain frequency and have them hold that pattern for a certain amount of time, they can literally, transmigrate to other locations. And this has something to do with the pyramids and with, all of that esoteric knowledge that's still missing from society, but that was the basics of what they were telling me, that if eventually these rooms, and I'm, we started this, I don't know what it was, 35 years ago. So what I've seen in the terms of progress and the rooms you're talking about, and there's some other people doing some other amazing builds that I've seen, it's all coming together and we're all getting the pieces of it, the parts of it that we need to do to be able to do what we're talking about. So healing's actually just the beginning, the basics. The rest of it, the amazing stuff, is what we're looking for. We're looking for obviously some physical immortality types of things, the ascension process, being able to bilocate and move around without the form,
Right.
having to let you, take a plane, take a train, to just be able to move around. And I think that's the
Right.
evolution of the species. And so these are the beginning steps of us, and all of us that are to have all the different parts of the piece of the puzzle are coming together. And I think it's really fascinating. There's somebody you should look into called Sonosphere. I don't know if you've seen
Oh, I
that
know
yet, but I
Sonosphere. Yeah,
love
yeah,
what
I've
she's
heard this.
doing. Yeah,
I've heard this
she's
before.
got a pretty amazing, yeah. So, people like that are doing some really amazing art. Even though we still have our old system here, it still works and it's still very powerful, but definitely there's higher end stuff going on, and I like what you're talking about there. So definitely
I've
want
got
to
a
keep those
friend in
conversations going.
Australia. He's a virtual reality expert. He's done all sorts of production. He's also in all sorts of instigations. He's a really big, great instigator. He's also does art, like large scale art. But he's coming out with a device called a Kaima, and a Kaima will connect to biofeedback devices and small audio thing that will play sound healing music on it. And it's also a small little light sculpture. So to get mainstream, so this into mainstream into people's houses. I have to send it to you. I have to see where he's at with it. But he's creating a small little device that does the biofeedback stuff and also is able to play the sound healing music through it. And the intention is kind of like a little sound healing sculpture, light sculpture.
Wonderful.
Is there a connection with, say, lucid dreaming and sound
Yep.
frequencies?
That's what
What's your
Gary works
experience
on.
with
Gary's working heavily on lucid dreaming with his music and sound. Wanting to bust through that little nut, trying to figure that out. I'm more clairvoyant. I have third eye stuff, so I see a lot of stuff, but he doesn't. He's obviously more clairaudient, more heavily, so he's trying to really do the lucid dreaming to make connection to the other, whatever that might be.
What kind of experiments is the idea using sound when you go to sleep or even during like waking lucid dreaming or something like that?
Yeah, when I teach people about it, you can come at it from both directions. You can do the one where you dream and you try to see your hands and you try to get more connected into the dream. And then my teaching, because I'm third eye clairvoyant, I teach to try to go in that way first, to in your waking world, even open and closed-eyed meditation, because the open-eyed meditation is really important to activate that. So you can stimulate it that way, and then when you go in your dreams, you can become lucid that way. So I only know this from Gary, but Gary doesn't see like I see clairvoyantly, so he goes into the dreamscape and programs himself to see, and to, when he does see, to stay conscious, not to wake up, not to, be startled. There's a lot of things that occur prior to having full lucid dreaming that you have to get through, fear factors and just things that are in the realms that are teachers to get us to be conscious. We don't want to be unconscious in those realms. Not a good idea. So you want to work gradually towards becoming conscious, and that's where psychedelics come in. Psychedelics are a great catalyst, but they shouldn't be overused. So they will propel you forward quickly, but holding that is difficult. You have to be able to come back and retain. So the retention issue is another thing you have to work on. So you can work at it from different perspectives depending on where your gifts are currently. We're either strongly clairvoyant, clairaudient, or clairsentient, and so we start with whichever clair technique we're best at, and then we start to build on the others. And we have
What,
to have them all. We have to have develop them all eventually.
word clairvoyant, but I never had the breakdown of what you said, clairvoyant and then clairsentient. What is the difference?
Clairsentient is more intuitive knowing, just, like a psychic, like an awareness, like an awareness that you're communicating with your higher self, your higher guidance teams and things like that.
And
There's also
By the way,
Claire.
Pete,
There's
click on the ground. You'll
Claire.
get down faster. Sorry for interrupting. He's slowly descending.
He's slowly descending.
He's slowly.
There's another
If
one
you
I
click
think
on the
that has
ground,
to
Pete,
do with smell. I think it's smell, but I forget how
Oh.
you say that. Claire, I don't know. I have to look that up. It's not the dominant one, but there are some people that are very tuned into smell. That also is a psychic ability, psychic gift.
Joanne, I wonder if I guess, is there any connection with your sound healing and a lot of this with trance dancing?
Absolutely.
Because
I'm a trance dancer. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I used to teach it a lot. I use Gary's music, but I like I like a real shamanic-y style of dance music, not the techno, not the repetitive beat stuff. It's got to be
you two would never
multidimensional
believe
to
this.
really
You
trance.
two would never believe this, what I'm about to say. So Shama, who is Anders' mom, the other founder of Heartland Collective, one of the things she does for festivals is trance dance.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes,
okay.
we did one here.
Love it.
Shama?
Yeah, Shama.
That's a cool name. Shama.
Shama.
Yeah, I like
She got
that.
that at Burning Man. They called her Shama.
Nice.
Really? I think Shama was one of David's warriors or something like that.
Maybe.
Like killed
She'll be in the
300
event
guys
tomorrow,
in a
probably,
field.
if you want to come by tomorrow for the Life 3.0. But Shama's in her 70s, and she did a trance dance for collab camp out here at the Heartland Collective a couple of months ago, and it was pretty intense.
Nice. I really
Very cool.
I haven't done a lot of trance dancing, but the trance dancing that I have gotten into is through the belly dance that I've done before. So it's more from a cultural aspect than any kind of meditation. But I've always felt like I need more. So it's something I've wanted to get into a lot more. I just haven't gone that route. So I've done like Czar, and I've done trying to think of the name of the other kind I've done, but they're definitely more from the cultural aspect. That this is what people traditionally do for certain events and so on. Penny, I'm sorry, my dog's bapping at me. So yeah, this is something I should probably start exploring more, because I feel a call to that. Like that would be something really beneficial to me.
Yeah. It's really powerful, and that definitely opens you up too.
Let's do it.
Yes.
So how about
yes,
this?
absolutely.
Pete, do you want to say a few words? Normally what we do is we introduce ourselves, talk about stuff that we're working on or stuff that we're really interested in learning about in the creative industry, whatever creative it is. And if you want, you can say a few words. You don't have to.
Are you muted?
Pete, is that you or is that LT? Did you change? Oh, LT, is that you? Did you change? Did you change form to look like Pete? Is that you, LT?
I think Pete was somebody different, wasn't he?
I think so. I think Pete was somebody else, but
Yeah.
I don't see him around here. He was here a minute ago.
Yeah, he was just flying up. I saw him a minute ago
right here.
flying
Now, I
up
can't see
over
his
there.
name. Hold on. Man, Spatial. No, I can't even see you. Is that you, LT? You gotta unmute yourself if you want to talk.
Don't go! Come back! Come back!
Don't go, LT! Please,
Don't go.
come back!
Come back.
We didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Come back. You don't have to if you don't want to. Or we can come to you next. How about this? Lost Wild. Break it down for everyone. Who are you? Lost Wild. Identify yourself.
Check. Yeah, let me know if this is too loud.
It's not too loud, I tell you that right now.
Okay. Oh no. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay. Actually, what I'm working for the last probably 4 weeks, I've actually been working with a client. I'm a media producer, so I do teach at a film school here in Vancouver, Canada, as well as produce various types of feature films. The last film that we finished was called Elvis the Pig. It was a family movie about a little girl and her pet pig and how they got lost and stuff like that. And the next kind of film up is called The Freakies. It's kind of sort of like the Gremlins type vibe. So a little bit back to the 80s and a little kid who finds these eggs, and of course they turn into monsters. And so it's kind of comedy horror, I guess, that genre. But right now I'm working with a lady, also known as the Heart Healer. And she's a lady from Trinidad. I kind of refer to her sort of like the Oracle in the Matrix. Remember that character? She's got a gift for just kind of being compassionate towards people and knowing trauma and helping them to walk through that, to heal what's going on with that. I'm getting an emergency call here from my son, so I'm going to take a little break. Brian, I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, dude. What happened to LT?
Going through personality changes. He's going through personality changes over there.
I know. Have you found who you are, LT? I met LT through an interesting group a friend of mine created. And LT does definitely some very interesting things with the creative people in general. And if he wants to talk about that, that'd be fantastic because he's next.
Yeah, we'd love to hear.
Yeah, we'd love to hear.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you now.
Yeah, yeah, we can hear you.
Hey, what's up? Sorry for if the audio is crappy. I'm using whatever is standard and built in the MacBook. I was having audio issues earlier here, and it turns out that my OS is 3 years old. So that was the issue. But now I think it's much better.
I think it's just spatial, to be honest. Just don't use Safari. We'll see.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I'm definitely not on Safari. I'm using Chrome for sure.
Okay, good.
But yeah, so first off, this is super cool. You know, I've used Spatial before, but I can't say there were other people around to interact with. So this is pretty nice. I want to say, and then Brian, obviously, thanks for inviting me. This is super cool. And yeah, I met Brian, like you mentioned, or in a Discord group because we're in the creator space, or I'm in the creator space. I'm sure Brian dabbles as well. What I mean by creator space is specifically the YouTube creation space. I don't create content myself. I've been more on the back end in terms of the business, the day-to-day stuff, financing, data analysis, all that sort, audience growth, literally everything you could think of when it comes to building a successful YouTube channel or business. So currently, in terms of my day job, I am the head of creator monetization at Viral Nation, which is a huge marketing agency, I'd say digital marketing agency based out of Toronto, Canada. I'm personally in LA, Redondo Beach specifically. And yeah, in terms of, so Brian and I are in the creator space, linked up on Discord. And I was pretty interested to hear what you know, because what this sounds like, and obviously it's all my interpretation, not wrong or right, but you know, this seems like a spot where y'all's or people in general help others break into more, I guess, like tap more into their creativity, which resonated with me pretty much immediately because that's something that I know I need to be doing more of. You know, I've always been doing kind of like the text or the, like I said, analysis, work, you know, career things, but more putting off of my creative side. So I do martial arts, which I consider an art, with the use of your body and movement and stuff, I guess.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, it's art. Art's in the name, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, I do art.
the intent behind what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah. So see, that's cool. Like you guys understand stuff like that, you know.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I guess like in terms of creation, like I was saying, to offer in that side, and in terms of like I guess Web3 related stuff, it happens that my neighbor, like literally next door neighbor, well across the street, adjacent person, living person, has also been using spatial or used spatial a lot. He's a musician. He pretty much grew his entire audience exclusively, or not exclusively, but like mostly on the metaverse, on spatial specifically. He's one of the top influencer, or you know, industry term influencer in spatial, named is World. And so yeah, it just happens to be that, you know, he's on spatial. I run into Brian. He was mentioning some stuff about spatial in the creator Discord group, and yeah, just pretty much like, you know, so like I said, interested in kind of how this could help me on a personal level, and then, you know, professional wise, I usually, you know, like I kind of mentioned, I've been working with YouTubers for over 10 years, helping them grow their audience, helping them make more money, helping them in my current role, helping them launch direct to consumer products, and you know, syndication, getting their stuff on Facebook and Snapchat to make sure they're making as much money as possible there. Brand deals, of course, like the typical talent agency type stuff, getting them brand deals, and podcasting. So it's always been in like the role of, you know, helping others, I guess, grow. So I think like of course a lot of that skill would apply to anybody. And then and when Brian and I spoke, we were talking about how literally every individual is a creator and has so much to offer. Like literally anyone doesn't, of course, like the people that are what you would consider popular now with a lot of, you know, metrics and social following are popular because they are expressing themselves. But when I'm working with certain creators, a big themes that come up pretty regularly: burnout. And burnout is not just like all the physical work that they have to put in, like obviously that's tough as well, but a lot of them fall into making videos for the purpose of getting as much views as possible, meaning they have to follow the trends, meaning they have to kind of step outside of themselves just to like feed an algorithm, you know. So burnout is like a huge deal there, and I think there's a good, I feel like a community like this could help creators in that aspect, like really, you know, discover what they want to make, like something that's genuine to them. Oh, by the way, they already have that, you know, traditional, I guess, fan base intact. So that could ultimately lead to better content, more meaningful content in the world. And yeah, so you know, What was this supposed to be, an intro or something? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was
You're
pretty much
doing
it.
I know
great. You're
that
doing great.
was
That was great.
that. Yeah,
You know
I
Okay.
love
something really
that
interesting?
Yeah.
because
You know something? Oh, go ahead,
Yeah.
Garnet, go ahead.
I was just saying it how interesting it is that the more successful you become, um, you, it starts. Not only do you need a support team with people. It's like the more creative you get, it gathers an audience. It gathers your sort of some of your corporate kind of people that you need around you, like yourself, to do the marketing, the back end, make the business connections. But isn't it interesting how mental health and self-care is still one of
Oh, it
the
is
main
not even
issues that
addressed
creatives
whatsoever.
are facing?
Yeah, not addressed whatsoever
Yeah,
in the
and
especially in the YouTube space too. And yeah, hence all the burnout, and only getting
yeah,
worse with the short form content on TikTok and Shorts.
yes. Well, I just watched a video of a famous TikToker, whatever, with 2 million followers, had left her 2-year-old daughter, 3-year-old, alone at the house to go party somewhere. And the kid was wandering through the streets, right? And the police came and arrested her. And she's like, I just don't know what I was thinking. What, you know what I mean? So
She needed
you
more
get some of
views,
these
right?
influencers who are in
Mm-hmm.
need of community. And Sandra, of course, that's the one area that she deals with. And we were just talking about my producing partner. He's coming up to his 100,000 subscriber kind of limit. So it's going to be a big kind of thing for him he gets his, what they call the silver play button, right? Your first 100,000 followers. And
Yep.
we were saying like it'd be cool to put something on his channel just because we have access to that people, but related to the film industry, how many, stars do we hear this story, right? They're in their success. They have the money, the fame, everything, and yet they implode. And
Mm-hmm.
we hear stories of suicide and kind of whatever. So, on one hand, yeah, like for people like yourself who kind of like, I want to really release my creativity. I think the one thing most of the people who are part of the community now, and now, Muse, you showing up here talking about areas you're delving into, that there's a real, I don't know, I guess emphasis or priority on self-care as well as we're
Mm-hmm.
doing these projects. It's like stressful being a creative. I think
It is.
in the way that we always are in need of resources or tools,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
you know, typically sometimes, uh, depending where your project or at, you're trying to pay bills and juggle relationships. And most creatives that I know anywhere are so focused. Once you go down the rabbit hole of your project, you sometimes lose the balance of sort of like taking care of your relationships or other areas of your life. I know in the realm of film, that is it, because your shifts are typically 12-hour days, and
Mm-hmm.
there's no room to do anything else. So you got, 15, 21 days, 30 days of just work, and you disappear from the rest of the world in your life or
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
You know something
Yeah,
really
Brian, what were
interesting,
you?
Lost Wild? One of the things that I know for a fact that we do in this industry is we do storytelling, and that's how we get things out there and how powerful all these things are. I met LT in a group called creators.org, and it was started by one of my friends I used to work with at Current TV, who was one of the senior creatives at the Current TV network. And I've met a lot of people in creative industries all over the place, and it was amazing because the creative economy, I started thinking about it because I was really thinking about what people are doing on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and anywhere else that they're putting their social media, and where social media influences are being created. And the conversation I kind of had with LT was we need to have some kind of social impact in a positive way. And one of the interesting things I know you're working on with some of that is, and almost on a side note, LT, when you mentioned martial arts, one of the things I have in this space is I have all the lanterns, the small ones have a bagua, and there's a lantern girl in there doing the expansion pose, and I didn't even know that was the expansion pose until another friend of mine came in here who does martial arts but also has worked in the broadcast industry for a very long time, explained to me that I had done that. So I think the power we have here to sort of come up with the scenario of how we all came together as friends and the kind of synchronistic connection all of our work has to do is how we will get this to really, really work. One of the things I talked to LT about was maybe getting some of the influencers on here as guests so we can interview them. Some of the people who are doing the creative economy. And we could talk about different kind of, creatives and all the different things that they're doing. And
Yeah, I know so many people that would be down because, like I said, they don't really have like a forum or a peer group or anything like that. Everyone's kind of, or I don't know if I said this at all, but everyone's pretty much kind of siloed. Even if they are, for example, somewhere like LA with a bunch of other creators, they're still in Lost Wild. You kind of touch on this a little bit. Their days are so long. Most of them are going all day long. That's this, especially the YouTube creation or any social media creation does not sleep because otherwise, with the algorithm, if you're not feeding it constantly, then literally you're gonna get bumped for even a couple days worth of inactivity. So these creators are pretty much pressured to go all day every day. And yeah, so I know a lot of people that would be down to come talk because the trend is now that people as in the top creators are recognizing that it does take a team. They can't do everything all by themselves. Sure, if you were a gamer, for example, you made millions of dollars, you're 20 something years old and you're able to get that far, but the thing is if you want to continue, you don't have to do everything. You don't have to be your own tax person. First off, get a CPA. You should get some sort of chief operator in your, just to oversee everything while you could focus on whatever you want. And most of that time it's the creative side. And there's a lot of people that are shifting too, where they want to remove themselves from the creative as quickly as possible, like literally ASAP, just so they can focus on the business aspect. Business aspects meaning, growing their brand equity via, let's say, live shows or licensing or creating new content specific for a platform like Roku or Amazon or anything like that. So there are a lot of people that want to do the opposite, remove themselves from the camera and focus on the business side because they know the opportunity. And yeah, but either way, I think a lot of creators would, I could get creators of whatever size, different stages of their journey, new creators have been around 10 years old, whatever you think could make for an interesting conversation.
I think just getting a bunch of folks in here, all aspects, because the whole point of virtual conversations for content creators is anything creative. And I think we need some of these multi-modalities. And one of the things I had been really wanting to do is sort of boot camps and training sessions for people who want to do stuff like YouTube and Instagram, and have them mentored by like experts in the field, like professionals. And this is kind of the mentorship program that we're looking at here. And also here at Heartland Collective, where I'm at, we want to do an artist in residency program where we get people who are very kind of visible to the public to mentor other people basically to show everyone that they can do anything that they want, and you don't have to be maybe what is looked at as being different or special because of the way you look or the way you sound. Like everyone has talent in some way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And trying to get the value for everyone up there. One of the things I'm also working on, and we're also working on here, is something called D-Studio. And D-Studio is Decentralized Studio, which is a blockchain-based production entity or platform where creative production people can come together and actually create multimedia projects together wherever they are locally, global projects, and it's all done through blockchain. So basically give creators the power. But I also don't want to set a stage for people like where you have 10 million viewers, and of those 10 million viewers, all those viewers kind of don't necessarily look at themselves as being amazing. They kind of look up to icons when they are actually icons themselves.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
This is kind of the kind of impact I want to have, and I think a lot of these influencers want to do that. And I think it would be nice to see a lot of these influencers kind of really speaking out and becoming who they really are, not necessarily what they think the public wants to see. Because I've kind of had some mixed feelings on that, and that's kind of more of those creative economy people on here. Because I think it's very important.
That's really hard for them.
Yes,
It is, because they get pigeonholed into a particular format, and that's what their market wants, and then they
Right,
get stuck,
exactly.
and then
That's
they
what
don't
that's what they're
evolve, and they
creating.
get stuck, and then they burn out.
Yeah, we have
so
the
that's the
potential to
unfortunate.
create ripple effects, man. So it's very important. Your words are very
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah, there are some that are, a lot of them, if they put their mind into it, they could pivot content, for example, and definitely still sustain. As you know, we could calculate kind of what the retention rate would be, because it's pretty much what their overall engagement rates are, and maybe down by, and maybe like, minus a couple percentages or so. But what I'm saying is, there are some creators that could afford to make that shift and make content that is more aligned with their personal interests. Like, for example, I know Carter Share, he currently makes Mr. Beast type game showy content. Hey, first to jump off this or last to jump off this trampoline wins $10,000, stuff like that, game show type stuff. So, his current audience knows him for that type of content, the Mr. Beast, template, I guess. But I know that he's more of a builder. He's more of like he came from Carnegie Mellon, and he has like an engineering degree, something like that. He likes to build contraptions and vehicles.
This is exactly what I'm
and
talking about, man.
he's
This
big
is
into
exactly what I'm
cars
talking about.
Yeah, and I'm saying, dude, you could make
Yes.
that now. You can make that a side channel now and do all that. And I know he has the funds for it, most definitely, because I worked with him at Spotter when Spotter literally does creator financing. But yeah, it's like some creators could afford to do it like him. Others, they can't really afford to, because sometimes, unless they're tapping into something like building a deep community within their Discord or Web3, anything like that, metaverse, anything that's more of a community platform, then they are beholden to the algorithm and can't even afford to kind of shift their content. But again, I feel like there's always a way to go about it. It doesn't have to be so drastic, like totally changing your entire programming, deleting all your old videos. Like, that's not
right.
Obviously there's a good middle ground between, right?
Do you know who Colin Furze is?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he wants to make like Colin
Furze
Furze type content.
Yeah, dude, Colin Furze is epic, and he's also a builder in the UK. And I think it's important that we bring kind of the excitement back into the things that'll help better the world. Like, one of the things we're trying to do here is create a program where we learn how to world build, and not world build in the VR space necessarily by itself, but like just build communities that'll be self-sustainable, built through maker spaces. And that's kind of like the edutainment we're trying to work on here. and all sorts of wellness. And we have, Joanne here who does the healing, the sound healing programs that I'm also kind of dabbling in. We have Kalima here, who's a big part of the education world. We've got Lost Wild, Garnet, man. He's also the co-founder of the Delta Film Academy. So he started a school that teaches media and film production in Vancouver. So it's just like we already have all of the sort of points we need here. What we could start doing is guiding all these people who have a flair for kind of like the charisma for gaining the attention, and start bringing that into where we could start changing the world in such a positive way.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Hello.
So, Ryan, what would you envision? Like, for example, if I brought
Coach.
Carter on here, would we, would there be like a, I don't know, line of questioning that will get him to open up, or is it more about like is there some sort of process, I guess, that you envision?
Well,
And
first
then
we would have a
ideally he's like,
sacrifice of a goat. No, I'm kidding.
okay, perfect. Yeah, that's what
Yes.
that's what I'm getting at.
Yes, first we do
Hey,
sacrifice.
no
Sorry,
hurting
not goat.
goats.
A pig sacrifice. Sorry.
Pig
Really, what it
barbecue.
would be is I've worked with
Bacon.
different creative people so many years. It would be more along the lines of a small interview, maybe a half an hour, 20 minutes, of just like what inspires him. When he grew up, like when did he know he wanted to do what he wanted to do, and how does he see the world a better place by focusing on the things that he can show them, and how does he feel about creating an entire world of these kind of influencers versus kind of like the micro version of what we have now. So it would be kind of a really serious conversation, but more kind of an inspiration for what he's doing, maybe what he might want to transition to, who his role models are, and why he does this kind of thing. This is really kind of a basic interview like that.
But you know what? Like, we got to start making use of this virtual world, right? This is not a radio show. We're in a freaking 3D environment.
Yep.
And that one thing should be like, we do something in this room that Joe Rogan can't, right? Whether it's, he's his own avatar. We've got multiple screens with his life or who he is, that like we prepare something that is like a bit filled with wonder, like that idea of what we can do in virtual reality.
Yeah, this is a very interesting idea. So it's kind of limited to what we could do right now because it's all our passion, but maybe we can figure out something very creative.
Yeah, like, I know, typically singers, when they host a concert, they're just showing themselves on a big screen, right? And people are dancing in the room, or maybe they're flying around and stuff like that. But I don't know, it's something I would just put to the room here. What can we do? Or what are some other really cool spaces in Spatial where they've done something unique, where when LT goes to these guys, he's, it's not like inviting them on to another Zoom call, right? He's saying, hey, we want you to come to Spatial. Whether they wear a headset or just come in through their mobile phone, but he's able to say, we're going to do something pretty unique. Or, I like the idea of even bringing in 3D props that guests can handle, or something like that. Like we were working on the boots from the bass player from the Who the other day. Like I still want to, try to bring those into this space, right? Because that's something you can't do on a Zoom call.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. How many people are on headsets in here? Or are we all on desktop?
Headset.
Headset? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely headset.
Yeah. How do you find the Spatial sort of experience compared to like Alt Space?
It's compared to
A little
alt
jerky.
space, it's a little bit, yeah, it's on the headset. It's the controls are not intuitive.
It's clunkier.
It's hard to
for
maneuver
sure.
yourself around. I tend to get caught in things a lot more than I used to, and can't maneuver my way out. I don't know. It's just kind of wonky compared to alt space, but it's manageable. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but it's manageable.
Yeah. And the sort of just facial interaction, is that a little bit different? Like,
It's not as intimate for sure. I don't feel the same. Yeah, definitely Altspace had a lot more connectivity with the faces to each other. Felt more, you could see faces and eyeballs and
I have thoughts.
mouths and I don't know.
I'm kind of
go ahead.
bombarding the conversation here, but
no, please.
My experience with Spatial, having been in a whole lot of other spaces, is the visual quality. Like, Spatial doesn't seem to understand lines. Like, if you have text in a world, it looks really grainy, and people who don't have like super high Wi-Fi are going to see all this. So that was something that I didn't experience in alt space. So it makes me not want to be in Spatial too long, because I'm, you know,
it's
it
like
doesn't
the
look
frame rate
as
is
great
different or
as
something.
Spatial or as alt space did. But yeah, and then the intimacy in alt space is lost here. This is very independent movement here in Spatial.
You know what? A lot of
I
people
feel like Spatial has a lot of potential.
Spatial's got visual scripting, and this is one of the cool things. Like VR Chat, they have Udon, which is C#, but I think Spatial has more availability to scripting than VR Chat does, because almost all visual scripting is available. All the nodes are available in here, except there's apparently like 15,000 visual scripting nodes, and 5,000 are the ones 5,000 you can't use. They have a whole bunch of stuff in here. I was able to do flying, Coach EB. Like, that was something that people were missing. What I did was I altered the gravity in this space, so when you jump, you could basically just float. And there are definitely ways of doing it, and I think one of the things about here is the creative people. This is more of like all creator. Everyone in Spatial is like a creative, I want to say. And less spectators. I think there were more kind of just community members in Altspace. Not as many people were creatives. But Altspace had something really special. It's sad to see that it's just like they don't realize that it wasn't Altspace that made it special. It was them who did it.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder if
I'll tell on myself a little bit, but I kind of world hop in Spatial and try to break things. So if you see me kind of flying around aimlessly, I'm trying to find the crevices and places to stand where no one else is thinking to stand. It's fun.
They have a Slack, by the way. They have a Slack that's directly connected. They have a Slack that's directly connected with their senior people. That's not the Discord channel. So that's helpful. It's for all the creatives.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if they were to solve the eye tracking issue and maybe have another level of zoom on PC. Anyway, I'm not sure of the experience in headset in here if you feel quite distant from people.
There's really good zooming on the Mac. I don't know. The PC, you can't zoom in.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I can zoom all the way out. I'm like all the way out. There's also like 3 different icons at the bottom of the screen. Right next to chat, it's a camera looking thing. You could change. I don't know if that's going to help you. But I have a pretty good zoom, man. I mean, I can't zoom in all the way onto you from where I'm standing, but...
I'm on Mac, but...
I think a couple of the issues on the headset that I would like to really see them resolve is a lot of times when you're standing next to someone, another avatar, you feel short. For a long time, I kept saying, "Why am I so short compared to you? How much shorter am I than you?" And a lot of them are saying the same thing. Sometimes you look like you're the same height, and like you look 2 feet taller than me, and I don't know why.
To me, you guys are the same height. Exactly.
Yeah, but I'm definitely looking up at his head, and things like that.
Short.
Just
I'm looking up at
you.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't even know what I have on. You said I was
You have on a
Muse, but I'm
very
supposed
fetching
to
You're
be.
not
hoodie.
wearing any
I'm
clothes,
supposed to be
Joanne.
Joanne. I'm not. Oh well. Yeah. See, I don't quite understand spatial yet in the headset.
Yeah,
Right.
I
it's
can't see
very
what I
bad.
look like.
It's a
I
very
can't
bad
find
interface.
myself.
It's a very bad interface in the headset.
Yeah.
And what's worse is they deprecated PCVR for some unknown reason that people weren't using it.
I have
I
two
need to
different
go.
spatial identities because when I originally started, I used the facial scan, and
Oh,
I did that on my phone, and then I logged in on my Mac. So I have, like, if I log in on my Mac and use that, it's one login, and if I log in on my headset, it's a whole other one. So I can't share world. I can't get back to the same world.
That
That's
must be
really
what's
Oh my
happening to me.
goodness.
Now lost wild to camera. Good job, man. They could have made it look nicer than that money for nothing.
What do I look like when I'm a camera?
You look like a crappy
Just a
camera.
camera.
You look like
Just a invisible see-through camera.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, there's two partitions here. You have no identity over there.
You have no identity. Lost Wild, you have no identity.
Do we have mirrors? Do we have mirrors in this
Gonna get up
world?
on you.
Like in
It doesn't
VR
work in the
chat?
headset. They don't work in the headset. The
Oh.
mirrors don't work in the headset. It's so
Okay.
annoying. I tried. I made a mirror and it works on desktop. It's all a mirror is a camera and a render texture. I don't know why it doesn't work in the headset. I asked them about that.
I spawned one of their mirrors into my home space and it works okay on the headset.
Really, I have to look
Just
because
did
maybe
you
their
do it?
mirror is different.
yeah, it's let's see, going down to this menu down here. Well, I can't do it in here, so it's like there's I think you have to click the big blue button in your piece.
Oh yeah, what do you got
And
here?
then
Is
there's
it,
something that share content, yeah, something like that, and they have a mirror you can spawn in.
let me look here. Hold on. I don't see
hey,
it.
hey, Coach. What is your favorite world in spatial? What's
Okay.
been something that just kind of blew your mind?
Oh, there's some.
I am not sure. I kind of like the Harlem space, but I haven't been in there when anything cool is
Oh yeah, that looks
happening. I
nothing
just
like my
love the
avatar.
graphics there. And I've like every other world, I get into the crevices there, and they've just done a really great job of designing that space. But
That's like
I have a
Boogie
favorite. Let me.
from Altspace. Who did Harlem?
That's Boogie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the
Pretty
quality is
crappy, that
just
mirror is.
really, really well done.
Oh yeah, Boogie does some good stuff. She's awesome. She came to the we've been doing this meetup in here, and well, we've been doing the meetup in Altspace for 3 years, almost 2.5 years before in here. And
Wait, is this a person? Are you
Yeah.
real?
It's a group of people.
I love
whoa,
it.
is that a person? I have those in the beginning in the entrance. You could. That's Garnet. Why don't you explain to Coach what this goat's all about?
Yeah.
I'm new.
We had this experiment with a group of kind of filmmakers and different creatives. The idea was, could we create a decentralized media company where, basically using a NFT or non-fungible token as a membership to vote on projects that we wanted to pursue or invest in as a group. So we created this collection of goats, and we chose goat because it was the symbol of the greatest of all time. So who inspires you in the music field, or in the sports field or whatever? Who are the greats? Who are the goats, right? So we created a whole collection of 5,000 different goats, and
Wow.
we got about 400 members who each bought an NFT that they use as their membership, and it also allows them to vote on our projects. So we took the goat and we created this first avatar actually for going into VR chat, and just filming with it or making stories with a goat, and everyone's goat is different. It's got different wardrobe items, horns, earrings, rings, kind of whatever. So
Does it look like he's interviewing me?
what?
No.
Oh, wait, hold on.
No. We are
Anyway,
here as the
so-
large
so-
goat.
I can't tell who's actually talking to me, so I'm looking
But
all around.
anyway, the idea is that you know, your goat is your
Just gonna hover
membership,
right here.
your membership card, but it's also an avatar that you can wear and you can make movies with it or whatever. And so I've written my first short film with a goat in it called The Rescue, and I
Uh-huh.
finished all the voice acting and stuff. So we're just about to do the sort of body acting. At first, I thought we'd do it in VR chat, but now I think it's going to be Neos. I don't know if you've ever been in the Neos platform. And
I haven't
we
yet.
also just imported the avatar into Grand Theft Auto
wow.
because Grand Theft Auto has a director mode where you can kind of make movies in the Grand Theft Auto world. So I haven't even tested it yet, but we've got a goat in the Grand Theft Auto platform. Anyway, that's kind of part of the experimental nature of the goats, I guess.
It's
I
really
like it.
cool.
But the goats are tradable on OpenSea if you're familiar at all with NFT market platforms or whatever. You know, I'm not sure what the base price of a goat is today. I know a couple of weeks ago it was 0.2 ETH, something like that. I should check into that, see what they're doing. I'm glad that people like playing with the goats, running around with them.
So I haven't been in Spatial a while, but there used to be a way to like point at somebody and like follow them. Now you can't do that. You have to actually like get
You
down
point
to
at their
the-
name above their head and click on their nameplate.
I don't see anybody's name above their head.
Oh,
I have no name.
well, that's different.
Yeah, you guys.
For
you
a
guys are
second,
just
I had the same
avatars.
problem, but then I got really close and all of a sudden it started working again. I don't know what happened. It's spatial. It's not working
Nope.
very well.
It's not doing its
was-
thing.
Because I just friended you. Don't touch me.
Yeah, no, I have to
Don't touch
actually
me.
see. I'm all
Don't
up
touch
on
me.
you.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I'm kidding.
I have to go down into the little pocket thing here, drag up and open,
I know,
and
it's
click
so
on
annoying.
people.
They really need to
Where'd
fix
you
that.
get your
And
avatar?
there you are.
That's really cool. Did you?
My
did you-
avatar?
Yeah. Those are cool.
I
avatars.
just used the stock one that they provided when I. There's been a few. So
Yeah.
the first avatar was my actual face, and then that was kind of weird for a while.
Yes, it's very weird.
And when I logged into a different account, I guess. I don't know where my face avatar is. I think I have to log into my computer, my laptop. But this Oculus avatar is this one. So I'm on Oculus right now, and I have no way to access the other files where like worlds are saved. They're completely different. It's really weird.
Yeah, the headset is bonkers. They broke it some way. They need to fix that interface.
But I don't really like using the laptop version. I mean, it's cool
Really?
if you need to listen silently,
Yeah.
or I don't know. I don't like the keyboard controls so much. It's funner for me to use my hands.
I am normally doing this because I'm actually streaming this event. Sorry if I didn't mention it before. I'm streaming it to my Facebook.
I'm in a million streams. Hello, world.
Hello, you're on every stream. Someone yelled at me before about this. I'm like, you don't think Spatial is a stream? What do you think this is?
Well, you know what? I'm cursing on the last stream I was in, so I do that
Really?
sometimes.
I actually challenge everyone to get me banned from Facebook, and no one has actually been able to do it.
The guy who was streaming the one I was cursing in didn't even post it, but I think that's the reason he didn't post it, because I don't know why. He was asking for help, and so I was volunteering to like be helpful. But I was
Excellent.
mad that day. It's just like
Really?
nothing was working, so I'm like,
It's
fuck
like, you don't
this shit,
deserve
and
to
I
be
just
treated
like
that fucking shit.
I went into like a side room that I thought was silent, and I just
Yeah,
ended up
yeah.
logging out from there. But I'm pretty sure that they heard all of my swearing.
That's good. It's helpful.
Oh well. It wasn't in Spatial. It was in Horizons. So
Oh, Horizons, that's even
all
worse.
good.
Did some of the creepies come up to you? It's like, hey, how can we help you? Can we help you?
There was too many kids starting out. A lot of programmers' children using their headsets.
I was actually in
It
the
was okay
Oculus
for a while.
Launchpad program.
Yeah.
I was in the Oculus Launchpad program in 2021.
Yeah.
I
did the
got a chance
beta
to
and
meet.
I built an airplane, and then I
Ooh.
gave up on it, and I was like, this is not so much what I want. But
Yeah.
the workspace is great. I actually teach. I run my business from there. So
Oh,
there's
excellent.
that.
So how about this, Creative? So we stand on that Stargate and we talk about ourselves and what we do and what we want to learn. So how about you, Coach? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm not that interesting right now.
Really?
I've left my job to become a caregiver for my mother, who's at the end of her life. But I love the potential of VR and where technology is emerging towards. So in real life, I am a singer and kind of float around technology for creatives. And so, I mean, before website design was really popular for singers, I was doing it. And I just enjoy like kind of jumping into whatever tech is new and feasible for bringing an audience. And
Ah,
this seems like amazing. You can get
Lost Wild.
international.
Lost Wild. Tell Coach
And
about
so
SessionWire.
I learned
Sorry
how
about
to
that.
create
Continue,
some
Coach.
code. I used Unity to learn how to code and create worlds there. And in the time that I did that, Spatial was like growing. So the early days of Spatial were not so fun, but I could see the potential there. I think I got excited about the possibility of they had some video. It's not possible yet where you can like see the visual of a person who's somewhere else and be in the same space with them, like they're a hologram kind of. They didn't go that route. They went the NFT route. So
Yeah.
it became
Okay.
less interesting. But I do enjoy world hopping here more than anywhere else for some reason. I think mostly because I like to break things. But
That's good.
I don't know. Did I answer all your questions? What would you like to know?
No, it's good. I was going to say, since you said you're a singer in the physical world, I was going to ask Garnet to talk a little bit about SessionWire, one of the groups she's directly connected with, about high quality audio sharing and some
Oh
inspiration
yeah,
we
that's
have
a
to get high
thing.
quality audio sharing into a place like this because where the audio sucks.
I would love to hear what somebody's take is on that because I've played around with it a lot.
Garnet, you there? Oh yeah, is he back? He has
Um,
kids. Oh, I just want to make sure he's sounding all right.
yeah, SessionWire. I'll leave the link in.
You're somewhere over here for me.
Really? Yeah, I know. That's another thing about this nonsense. We're all in the wrong place.
Mm-hmm.
SessionWire. Is that? Yeah.
Yeah, in the chat.
So SessionWire is basically Zoom with a high quality audio sort of connection that sort of allows you to connect DAW to DAW and get that, like, basically producers are using it to record artists from remote kind of logins and stuff like that. Yeah, but I guess we're finding now it's not just musicians that want to use it, but people have, a bunch of other reasons why they need really good audio. Like Spatial has a lot of concerts in here, right? But the audio is not good. And
Yeah.
so
I don't think any world is great.
so what we're hoping to do is maybe SessionWire can take some of their tech and embed it into for these kind of scenarios where we're either playing, like even playing a movie, or like we threw a party here doing the Oscars, and even just the live feed sound in the room was not good, right? So maybe there's something, but that could be a tool, you know, if you're have fans who are watching you and connecting to you to hear you perform. Session wire is going to give them studio quality sound depending on how they're connecting to you through whether they have headphones or nice quality speakers or something like that. But that's definitely
Oscars. Sorry, when you said you were playing the Oscars live and the audio wasn't great, what is that dependent on? Is that dependent on the platform, or is it?
I'm about to do a
like
presentation what it sounded like. You ready, LT? I'm going to share something on here right now, and you can see. I think it's gotten better.
Yes.
Stand by.
But it's a direct feed, right? It should be good.
I'm going to stream it
like
right
even
now.
playing a YouTube video.
Hold on. I'm going to stream right now.
Yeah.
That big
like
screen behind there? You see that big screen?
Oh yeah, that's tight.
In the
No, I can make it
shadows
look
of
better.
Arrakis lie many secrets.
Like Peter Gabriel.
But the darkest of them all may remain.
That's a big deal.
Damn.
The end of House Atreides. Your father didn't believe in revenge. What if Paul Atreides was still alive? Have you ever had a dream about your first ride?
Pretty insane.
Don't try to impress anyone.
I have no visuals. It's all black.
Is it all black, really?
We all know that.
It is for me.
Simple.
That's my experience with video in every world. I don't get it.
When you click on your
It's either really choppy or it's black.
You can bring it up full screen.
I mean, it's running super clean for me. I'm on Mac.
Yeah,
on
you know,
desktop.
this is what I was saying before about spatial. Now, you can't do a render texture in the headset, but you should all be able to see that because that's just a screen share on the normal screen. And this is the problem with spatial. So this is why we need to kind of like get together a little bit and explain to them on a higher level why they need to fix that shit. It's so unfortunate that you couldn't see it. So Coach or Kalima, you could not see that, right?
No.
I could see that you were sharing the screen when I went to the back side. I saw your name as file share, but I couldn't, and then I saw that the screen changed to black. I could see like a little frame.
I'm gonna move
and then
it
I
out
saw like a
bit.
little loading slide at the bottom, but I couldn't see the actual visual.
Hold on.
Yeah, I can see you
That'd
moving
be a big
that.
deal to figure it out. Because then
But,
you could
I mean,
What would happen if you made it super small?
Well, the problem is the way I brought it in here is I did it in Unity. Whoa, look at that! I did it in Unity, and I used the plugin that they use in the SDK. It's in the scripting, their visual scripting. The special spatial ones, and I did it the way you're supposed to, and everything should be visible. So what I have to do now is go back and test it in the headset.
Like that
Yeah,
audio
when I go into
wasn't.
museum spaces, I have the same experience. There's no video, like things that have to load don't ever load. It's been that way forever. Like I've never been able to experience a world that has media, moving media.
Like that audio wasn't that bad, but if you get, 16 people or more in a room, then it starts to break down. Like that, I mean, that was livable, right? But it was a lot worse at our party.
Yeah, I had a high quality stream too. I found the Academy Awards. I got it on YouTube, the paid version of YouTube. We streamed it in here. It was high quality, man, and I don't know why. That stream was probably 4K. We lost while ago.
I'll be fair, I'm on the house Wi-Fi, so I'm sharing it with whoever else is here, and it's serving the whole house. It's not like the most robust Wi-Fi, so maybe that's a thing, but And maybe I
Let me
should
tell you
update
one
my.
thing,
Let
Coach.
me see.
I am in Heartland Collective, 40 minutes from town, north of Auburn. We are completely off grid. We are running right
Okay.
now off of a forklift battery and solar panels. We have Starlink.
That's so
Oh my
cool.
gosh.
This is my internet.
So it's just spatial.
Spatial, yes. I mean, we actually get pretty
If
good
you're
internet
in
on this.
NorCal, I'll have to visit.
Yeah, so
Brian,
we're
if you're in
about
NorCal, I'll have to visit.
yeah, we're an hour or so past Sacramento. An hour and a half. An hour and a half past Sacramento.
Yeah, I'm down. My car's been
You
in
should
the
come out for
shop
a visit,
for
dude. You
8
should come out for a
months,
visit.
but whenever I get it
Oh.
back, I'll be down there. Pull up.
Yeah, definitely come out for a visit sometime.
What
We
was
got
that?
glamping tents out here. It's really amazing. You'd love it.
Yep, I'm down. It'd be like a maybe 6-hour drive. I'm in Redondo Beach.
I used to live in Hermosa, in El Segundo. I used to live in El Segundo. I was going to tell you the other day. Have you ever been to was it Paisano's Pizza? I think it's Paisano's Pizza in Hermosa Beach. One of the best pizzas I've ever had.
Seen it, I've not been inside of it. No. Why
Yes.
is it great?
It's one of the most stereotypical pizza places, and all the stars they have in there are not actual real people, but
Sure.
they have the characters they play.
Yeah, sounds like a great. Yeah, like El Segundo or Rinaldi's, right?
I'm
Sandwich
trying
place.
to remember. Yeah, I think so. I miss LA a little bit, not necessarily all the time.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm going to have to jump off. This has been great.
Right.
I will see you guys next week.
Next week.
Yeah.
Take care of all the people.
Nice to meet you. Peace. Hold on, I'm trying to wave.
There you go. You break dance
That's not
instead,
it.
dude.
Okay, that's.
Oh my God, it's like
that's
100
the first
degrees
thing.
here right now.
Yeah, Brian, this is sweet, man.
Yeah, it's fun.
Like,
And
I
when
feel
we did
like
it in Alts,
all those limitations are gone. I was about to say, like, when all those limitations are
right.
kind of gone, you know, like a world just being able to support thousands, hundreds of thousands of people
Yeah,
without
yeah,
any
definitely.
hiccups, and you know, audio's perfect, video's perfect, then you could literally make any event in the world. I'm sure you saw that whole Taco Bell wedding thing, right? That was like the biggest news ever.